Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and in today's report, I really want to focus on something that is being ignored, that absolutely should not be ignored. You see, right now, millions of people abroad, lives are at risk, and this really needs our attention. What am I talking about? Well, if you've watched my channel, you're already well aware that over in the country of China, the Communist Party is literally rounding up hundreds of thousands of Uyghur Muslims and bringing them to re-education camps. Well, now that's not the only group that they're dragging to these centers. In fact, over 500,000 Tibetans have also been drugged to these laborious, intensive re-education camps, and we can no longer turn a blind eye to this atrocity. Take a look at this article here on the SydneyMorningHerald.com, published September 2020. China forces over 500,000 Tibetans into labor camps. The JamestownFoundation.org published September 22nd, 2020. Yijing's system of militarized vocal training comes to Tibet. And the article states, in 2019 and 2020, the Tibet Autonomous Region, TAR, introduced new policies to promote the systematic, centralized, and large-scale training and transfer of rural surplus laborers to other parts of TAR, as well as other provinces of the People's Republic of China. In the first 7 months of 2020, the region had trained over 500,000, that's 500,000, rural surplus laborers throughout this policy. The scheme encompasses Tibetans of all ages and covers the entire region and is distinct from the corrosive vocational training of secondary students and young adults reported by exiled Tibetans. The Labor Party transfer mandates that pastoralites and pastors and farmers, are to be subjected to centralized military-style vocational training, which aims to reform backwards thinking and includes training in work discipline, law, and the Chinese language. Now, examples from the TAR's region indicate that the militarized training regime is supervised by the People's Army Police drill sergeants, and training photos published by the state media to show Tibetan trainees dressed in military fatigues. I mean, think about that. Military training to change backwards thinking. And what do they mean by backwards thinking? Well, it's simple. Anything that they deem a threat to their Communist Party. But the article goes on. Poverty alleviation reports bluntly say that the state must stop raising up lazy people. And documents also state that the strict military-style management of the vocational training process strengthens the Tibetans' weak work discipline and reforms their backward thinking. Tibetans are to be transformed from being unwilling to ready to move to becoming willing to participate, a process that requires, and here's the key, to diluting the negative influence of religion. Diluting the negative influence of religion. And this is aided by worrisome new scheme that encourages Tibetans to hand over their land and their herds to government-run cooperatives, turning them into wage laborers. This is an outrage. Diluting the influence of religion in one's mind. Imagine this for me for a minute. After considering everything that happened here in the United States with the pandemic, how people bent over backwards to save lives to the point that they were willing to lock themselves in their home, dismantle their businesses, and muzzle their faces for a virus, mind you, that has a 99.6, 99.8 survival rate, right? Imagine what would happen if the World Globalist Organization came out and said, we need to dilute religion in people, kind of like what's happening in China. We need to, and I'm going to quote it, dilute the negative influence of religion, you see, because religion has caused mass amounts of deaths. You see, in the name of Christianity, thousands and millions of people, the Salem witch trials, people died. In the name of the Muslim religion, people died. In the name of Catholicism, people died. In the name of Jews, people died. And they would list all the mass slaughter of wars that happened over generations because of religion. And they would say to the American people, we need to dilute the negative influence of religion. And I ask you, how many people in America would bend over backwards to save lives and stop religious wars and atrocities? So why not round up some folks into a re-education camp? It's kind of like the book of Revelation talks about. But now I have no doubt in my mind that some people would be willing to blindly comply. But the fact of the matter is, it's happening right now in the country of China. Right now, Tibetans, right now, Christians, Falun Gong, Uyghur Muslims, round up into these re-education camps. And let me just show you some of what's happening in China with the Muslims there. Here's an article, nypost.com. China reportedly secretly built hundreds of prison camps to hold minority Muslims. Reuters.com, China putting minority Muslims in concentration camps, the U.S. says. Here, I'll throw up some footage of Muslims there in these camps in China. And their heads are shaved, and nobody knows where they're being brought to or what's going on. You see, that's the kind of thing that the mainstream media and politicians are turning a blind eye to. Meanwhile, we're having riots and looting in the name of systematic racism that doesn't exist. Oh yeah, that's because it's about a takeover. You want more information on that? You're going to have to get on over to restrictedrepublic.com, and we've got a 14-day free trial there. But look, we are literally, instead of condemning China, we're giving them attaboys and putting them on the UN Human Rights Panel. Take a look here. TheDiplomat.com, China appointed to influential UN Human Rights Council panel. Well, why not put someone who's rounding up people on a human rights panel? I mean, really? Not only that, but you want to know why some of these riots are happening? Because there's literally an infiltration of China in the United States of America. Why isn't the media calling them out? Because we've been infiltrated. Take a look at this article on thefederalist.com. September 2020, Mike Pompeo warns state and local leaders of the Chinese Communist Party infiltration into the United States of America. They are literally paying off. There's multiple stories of Chinese leaders coming into the United States of America, paying off our politicians to remain quiet about these atrocities, to censor content like what I'm putting out. Again, restrictedrepublic.com. Anyhow, you can see why this is at the very heart, because these people need our help, our love, our prayer, and support. Anyhow, please don't forget to check out my partner at getthetea.com. If you guys haven't tried any of his products there, I mean, this is one of my favorite, but I also am on his vitamin C, his 8th element. And they've got packets out here with joint aid and the tea. And it's just amazing specials and deals that he has right now. And I think right now, in light of everything that's going on, in light of the tax from the chemtrails, from the fluoride in the water, from the GMOs, from vaccines, from all these, from the pandemic, from COVID, everything that's hitting us on every direction, you need to make sure you keep your body healthy. I think this is absolutely critical. So check it out at getthetea.com. And right now, if you use the code Lisa, you get free shipping. Anyhow, I love all of you. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.